successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in a down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand. Especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, You'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
The U.S. economy is in solid shape, with real GDP growth supported by strong consumer spending that is itself supported by a strong labor market delivering wage gains, accounting for inflation.
Lie detector test determined that was a lie.
And was it a lie? Most people are asking me, how come the market's stalling out? It's not going up. What's going on? It's dead. Well, because they've got to make a decision. Do they continue what they've been doing for the last 15 years and not telling people, not being honest about it? Keep driving the stock market with stimulus, not earnings. Do you know that most people don't know that? When people think back to 2008, 2009, up to where we are today, the NASDAQ is going up over 1,200%, and the S&P is going up over 650%. But nobody thinks how it got there. They really believe what they're told by the fake Business News Network in Washington. Earnings. No, not earnings, not at all. That's a bull-faced lie. The rally over 14, 15 years was all because of stimulus. Do you know what drove the market was about $30 trillion that was printed? That's what drove the market, not earnings. In 2009, when Obama got into office and Bernanke and Vice President Biden, they all made a decision that the market was so destroyed. I mean, the economy was so destroyed, they lost $8 trillion. Investors lost $8 trillion between the stock market, housing, and they didn't want to take the chance of a recession. They should have, because when you get hit hard like that, you want to get rid of all the debt, corporate debt, government debt, private debt. You want to start out with a clean slate. It's painful for about 8 months, maybe a year, but mostly about 8 months average. But when you start out with a clean slate. Government's gotten rid of their debt. You've gotten rid of your private debt. Cities, counties, all getting rid of their debt. And you get rid of all the dead weight. All the bad players are gone. You got just the good players left who take over the assets of the bad players, and that's how you build a strong economy. They didn't do that. They decided, no, let's not do that. We're not going to do that because the banks, remember at that time, got crushed. And remember who owns the banks? The wealthiest guys on Wall Street, the wealthiest guys in the United States. They own the banks. And of course, the banks own the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve does what the banks say, because Powell or whoever's the in charge. They're beholden to, again, the owners of the banks. So what they did is they printed nearly $30 trillion. And what they do with that money to drive the market, real simple. Quantitative easing. I talked about this 100 times. They took the money, and remember, that 30 trillion, near 30 trillion, that's all inflationary, huge inflation when you do that. They took all that money and they went to the banks that are upside down, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Morgan Stanley, the biggest banks, Wells Fargo, and they went in and they said, we're going to buy all your assets, the garbage you're dying with. So they had mortgage-backed securities, they had subprime mortgages, they had treasuries that were like 1 cent on a dollar. That's all they're worth. But they gave them $1 instead of the 1 cent. Then from there, they took a whole bunch of money, this 30 trillion, and they go in and they buy treasuries. The Federal Reserve, the government buys their own treasuries to drop interest rates from 5% down to zero, 5% down to zero. And then the banks now have all kinds of cash. They can then go to the companies and say to CEO, here you are, we're going to loan you money free, interest free, but we don't want you increasing productivity. We don't want you buying new equipment, anything that can increase productivity, anything that can cause new jobs or raises or standard of living to go up. No, don't you do that. We want you to take that money and we want you to go in and buy your own shares. That's called QE. So that's how they manage the 30 trillion. So you got 30 trillion of money supply. That's how they manage it, which always used to be illegal. Now, so the first thing, it drove, this money started to drive the rates to zero because they bought all the treasuries under QE. And then we had a rally. The rally started. Now, as the rally was moving up from 2008 to 2020, the market was soaring. But remember, there was no earnings. No earnings. I mean, a handful of companies. But you got 5,000 companies. Hardly any of them had earnings. So 2020, what did we hit? COVID hits 2020. So 2020, we had in 2020 with COVID, at that point, the 10-year Treasury was at 1.5, the 3-month Treasury at 1.6, and the market started to drop, went down, started to go down. And the market would have gone down at least 50, 60%, but they interfered in the market. They didn't want it to go down. Are you kidding me? They didn't want the market to go down. So they came in with 10 trillion of the 30 trillion, and they brought rates back down again. They went out and bought treasuries and brought the rates from 1.6 to 1.5 down to 0.1, 1/10 of 1%. The stock market rallied 118% from 2020 to 2022. You talk about the fix being in, and the inflation this causes is incredible. So the rich were getting richer, Wall Street was getting rich, congressmen were getting rich doing their inside trading. But guess what? Main Street was getting screwed. Because not only was the stock market going up, because of the injection of stimulus, this is not earnings, they're not making profits, but inflation went up 9%. I'd love to be in hear that conversation. Imagine the conversation between the president and Congress and Wall Street, and they say, wait a minute, if we do this plan, QE, and now that we got hit COVID, and if we stop the market crash going down 50, 60%, we stop it at 30%, do you realize what's going to happen if we put $10 trillion to stop the market from crashing, that we buy all the stocks? That we buy most of the stocks and of course, the CEOs of companies? We would have tremendous inflation. Someone had to say, who cares? Who cares? Screw Main Street. What do we care? The market has already been up about 32%. When we hit 150% when we hit the COVID on the S&P. We're up about 650 to 700% on the NASDAQ. Wall Street was getting rich. The 1% were getting rich. Even the 1% were getting rich. The poor were getting screwed because inflation was going up. Everything was costing more. But they had to have the conversation, say, who cares about inflation? Look at the money we're making. So they went in, took the $10 trillion, went in and bought all the treasuries again, dropped interest rates down, and then they started to buy all the stocks. And we went up 118% with 9% in inflation, starting to destroy Main Street. Main Street, not Wall Street, not the banks, not the wealthy. More when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here. And it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grande.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth, you get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. clarity, good information, and fun. Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Remember, join my gang. We're a true online education platform. I always hear these large brokerage companies always talking how, they have a great, education program. And they probably do. But there's a difference. We're not a brokerage firm, so all of our focus goes on education. Their focus is not education. That's secondary. Their focus is commissions. That's how they make their money. But we focus totally, on education. So join our gang for 10 days. Get to know it. Understand what we do. You'll benefit, believe me. Because whether the market's going up or the market's going down, all you have to do is find, where's the money going? Where's the money going? If the market's going down and there's a bunch of money going into, let's say, the housing sector, well, that's going to go up regardless of everything else goes down. It's called relative strength. This is what we do. So check it out. Go to philsgang.com. All right. Most people don't understand that this whole rally, if you take from 2008 to 2020 when we hit COVID, the S&P at that time was up about 320%, and the NASDAQ was up 670%. Now remember why they did QE and why they decided to rally the market. Not with productivity, not with earnings, but with QE. Because remember, $8 trillion was wiped out in stocks in 2008. $3 trillion was wiped out in housing. And when Obama took office, and remember, he was under a lot of pressure with the banks because the banks put him in office. It was their money put him in office. And the banks, remember, are owned by the wealthiest guys. And the banks, they're the biggest shareholders in the Federal Reserve, and they control whoever is in the Federal Reserve, whoever's the chairman. So anyway, if you think about it, when they dropped rates to zero, they knew they were screwing everybody on Main Street because they knew all they'd be creating is wealth for a very small group of people. Because remember, about 90% of stock wealth, 90%, goes to the 1 percentile and the 1/100th of 1%. 90%. And by the way, 40% of people that are in 401k, 40% don't even participate. So I don't hear, but we got all these 401k people. They get screwed. So that's how they drove the market, knowing they were going to hurt Main Street. But Main Street didn't know what was going on. They thought, wow, look at this. Rates are at zero. I can go buy a car cheap. I can go buy a motorcycle cheap. I can go buy a house. Remember, all the stimulus brought home mortgage down from 5-7% down to 2.3%. People were all excited. They thought, wow, this is wonderful. But they didn't know one day they're going to have to pay for this inflation. So when we hit February 2020, and we were dropping 30%. Everybody knew we were going to go at least 50, 60%. They stopped. They stopped it from going down by printing, again, taking 10 trillion of the 30 trillion they already printed, and they stimulated a rally with that money. Not earnings, not profits, earning. And we got a rally of 118%. But behind that rally, Main Street got screwed with 9% inflation. Most people don't understand that. That's where the problem began. So the rich were getting richer, and the poor, or Main Street, they were paying a whole bunch more money for gasoline and food. But they didn't think about it because they knew, hey, I can get a house mortgage for 2.8%. But now they're realizing something's amiss here. So now the market in January 2022 starts going back down. So it drops from January 2022 down to October 2022. Because rates, remember, they had to start raising rates. Because the inflation at 9%, after all these years, from 2008 to 2022, I mean, what's that, 12 years? That, 14 years, the first time they raised rates. So, as soon as they started to raise rates, 525 basis points in 12 months. You can't find anywhere that rates went up that fast in 12 months. I looked at it last night, and I think I'm right. I think I found where it was either 1980, 81. We were pretty close to that. But it was about 1 in the morning, so I went to bed. But now, at 118%, the market, people were excited. And Main Street was still excited. Even though they're paying more, they still could buy a car, they still could buy a house, they could buy a motorcycle, a snowmobile, a little ski mobile. But then in October of 2022, as the market started to pull back, that market was ready to go down another 50%, at least another 25%. They came in to stop that one too. They injected more money. They injected another $5 trillion. You see what's going on here? So they inject $5 trillion to push stocks up. The only reason these stocks went up between 2008 and 2020 is because they put in trillions of dollars. And the only reason why the stock went from 2020 to January 2022, they put in an extra $10 trillion. And then it stopped. The market crashed from 2022 to from 2022 January to October 2022. We're down 25%. They stopped it. They inject another $3 or $4 trillion. Now there's a problem. For the first time, we're facing interest rates today over 5%. Over 5%. So what are they going to do now? We got some real serious problems. We'll talk about those. Are they just going to face those problems and just print more money and move the market up again?
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
I signed up, and I've learned an incredible amount from Phil and Steve. The staff at Phil's Gang gives platinum-level service and stock recommendations. You know, it's as simple as that. At the end of a month or so, I've always been in the black. Phil's Gang is a class act. I'm happy to be a member.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox Business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something that this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Again, join my gang, free for 10 days. And you're going to learn how the market works, and you're going to learn how to make money when the market goes down by shorting, as well as making money going long. And you'll have enough information to realize markets just don't keep going up. And going back to what we just said, if you take the market after we had that rally from March 2020 to January 2022, had that 118% stimulated drive. Remember, this was all stimulated. No earnings, stimulated. It's all fake, stimulated. It's a bubble. And now they said we got to raise rates. Now, here's the problem with raising rates. They started to raise rates from 0 to 9%. That's called tightening. We've never seen tightening so fast. 525 points from March 2022 to March 2023, but there's a problem. It doesn't take effect on inflation for at least 18 months. So during the 18 months, a lot of damage can be done because it doesn't fight inflation. Maybe you're lucky 12 months it starts fighting inflation. So that first rate hike, everybody thinks, oh, that's it, they're raising rates, we're going to be fine. No, we're still not fine. A lot of damage is being done. So let's think about this. We have a deficit now of 8.4 trillion. That's a big problem. And remember, the stimulus wasn't just the stock market. They got bubbles everywhere. The housing bubble was created by stimulus because the stimulus was also used to go in and buy treasuries. And when you buy treasuries, they do that on purpose. The government buys their own treasuries, for God's sakes. When they buy their own treasuries, they drop the yield so you can get a house mortgage for 2.8%. And they're not doing you any favor. 2.8% doesn't do you any favor when inflation, true inflation, is really 13%. If anybody believes that inflation is 3.2%, when you got gasoline today, from the time Biden got into office today, you got gasoline, you got food, you got rent. I mean, everything's up about 22 to 30%. So you getting a rate for 2.8%, how's that helping? It really isn't. Oh, you say, well, I got my house, I got cheap payments, but everything else is going up. So housing prices went up 50 to 64%. Wait a minute, that's more inflation. So you got stock inflation that's up huge. Up huge. Now, today where we are in stock inflation, remember, the market right now is up about 1,200%, the NASDAQ. And remember, the S&P is about 600%. And remember, when we hit that February 2020 COVID, we were about half that. And as soon as they dropped the rates back to 0, and we had that 118% drive, everybody's all excited about it, but that's pure inflation. And when they dropped the rates, our housing prices, pure inflation, 50 to 64%. Commercial real estate, pure inflation. People in the commercial sector went nuts. They drove the total debt of commercial to $4.7 trillion within a few years. 2022, we had 85 corporate defaults. Why? Because they started to raise rates in January 2022. But you listen to anybody on these financial shows like this liar, Jared Bernstein.
The U.S. economy is in solid shape.
And you listen to this dope.
We are not in a bubble.
What the hell are we in? What are we in if we're not in a bubble? Are we in the middle of a ham sandwich? Well, put some more mustard on me then. Unbelievable. So, commercial. So now commercial real estate, 4.7 trillion total debt. 2022, 85 defaults, corporate defaults. Are you nuts? And then we had an 80% increase in defaults from 2022 to 2023. 153 corporate defaults. We went from 85 to 153. You see, the rate hikes haven't kicked in. So now, or we had about that 153 corporate defaults. They couldn't meet their $800 billion in obligations 2023. The amount of delinquent commercial debt is held by which banks? Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic, Signature, and another 180 banks. So remember, the debt tripled in 2023 to $9.3 billion, and more than doubled last year. Okay, to 24.3 billion from 11. So we went from 11 billion in 2023, and we almost doubled it to 24 trillion But the rate hikes are not helping. It takes at least 18 months. If you're lucky, 12 months. So now $1 trillion of that commercial property debt is due 2024, in which 1.5 trillion again is due in 2025. Are you kidding? So we have all these headwinds. Now we got March 11th coming. We got the bank term funding program expires. $165 billion. These banks can't pay it back. So what are they going to do? Let's think about it. So there's $165 billion. Banks can't pay it back, and the banks, remember, can't roll over the $4 trillion in commercial loans. The $4 trillion in commercial loans. They can't roll that over because the banks are insolvent. They can't. You go to the bank and say, "Can you roll over my $500,000 loan on my apartment complex?" No. We're broke. And everybody just everybody says, "Oh yeah, but NVIDIA's up. Look at this. Meta is up. NVIDIA's up. Meta, oh my God, Meta's up. Oh, look, Google, it's up." They have no idea what the hell's going on. They're in la-la land. Then when I say, well, I believe there's going to be a crash at some point, they look at me like I'm an idiot. Remember, the market is forward-looking. Like I said to you, the market's always forward-looking. So these rallies that we've had of 1,200 and 600% and the inflation that's gone up, incredible inflation. And then they want us to believe it dropped from 9% to 3%? Are you kidding me? How could it drop from 9% to 3%? It doesn't work that way. QE, quantitative easing, yes. You can drop, when you go with quantitative easing, you can drop rates so fast. Overnight you can drop them. But QT, when you try to unload some of this, remember, all this is money supply. So you want to get some of this money supply out. You want to get the money, but it takes so long to get it out. And they don't want it to come out. Wall Street doesn't want it to come out. Members of Congress don't want it to come out, the ones who are very, very wealthy, depending on the stock market. We can buy a $26 million house in Aspen and a $36 million house in Lake Tahoe. So now the decision is going to be, are they going to do this? Or are they going to say, okay, we got these banks, all this debt's coming due on March 11th. What should we do? Should we let all this debt go down and let the 180 banks, the 180 regional banks that are in a whole $650 billion, do we just let them go down? Or why don't we do more QE? We're already in $30 trillion. Let's run the market some more. That may be their decision, because what they're going to say, well, if we run the market more, if bread went from $1.80 to $2.80, bread may go from $2.80 to $7.80. But you think they care? You think the guys on Wall Street or in Congress care? They don't care how much coffee is or chicken, or they don't care. So they may make the decision like they made the decisions all the way from 2008 to February 2020 to January 2022. They have yet made a decision that was best for Main Street. It's always for Wall Street, but it's not good for Wall Street. Because guess who gets killed? The little guy in the market, because he doesn't know how to short.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone, learn off of them, one-on-one. Now that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars, but I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone, learn off of them, one-on-one. Now that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars, but I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, if you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake business news network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, again, the decision's going to be made. Like, what happens tomorrow? All of a sudden, let's say inflation gets hot tomorrow. Market starts going down. They'll come in with more QE. They'll take more stimulus. See, that's the problem. What people don't understand. If they understood it, there'd be 55 buses, 155 buses down at the Capitol in Washington, yelling and screaming at their Congress, what the hell are you doing to me? It's you. You're the reason why my gasoline's up, my food's up. But they don't understand that. Most people are so busy trying to make a living. They don't have time for this. They don't have time. And remember, deficits are because of a spending problem. But who do they blame the spending problem on? The politicians. They won't increase taxes, which they should do. If we have a spending problem, we should increase taxes to take care of it so we don't have a deficit. We should never have deficits. Deficits are a killer. It kills growth. It kills everything. Kills wages. Deficit is a terrible thing. But nobody ever talks about deficits. Most investors don't even know what a deficit is. So politicians will not increase taxes because they're more concerned about getting reelected than the well-being of the country. Well, first of all, we would never brought interest rates down to zero if they were concerned about you and me. They would never definitely never dropped interest rates to zero. Never dropped interest rates to zero. That won't ever happen. Never happen. So what they do, the politicians blame, and Fake Business Network, blame all this on the consumer, you and me, and on corporations. Remember the president was sitting there talking about the bag of chips that all air? That's his fault. That's Congress' fault. But Congress makes a fortune on inflation, so they don't care. So let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, we get a bad number. We get a heated number. What do you think they're going to do? They'll take more stimulus. What is stimulus? You just print money out of thin air and you keep destroying the value of your dollar. So we go to the grocery store. That $100 used to buy 3 bags of grocery, now buys 1 bag of grocery. And they're saying, it's your fault. You're spending too much. That's BS. So spending more than the tax revenue is to blame for inflation. That's the blame. And now the problem is they didn't raise rates fast enough. So the damage between now and the time the first 25 basis rate hike went in, a lot more damage can be done. So not only do we have the banking crisis, we got home crisis. That's right, housing crisis going on. You wait and see. Got housing crisis, we got the banking crisis, we got inflation crisis. But as long as the stock market goes up, one thing they understand, these politicians at Wall Street, as long as they can keep moving the stock market up, 99.99999% of the people think the stock market reflects the economy. And oh, things are right. Gee, they're telling me on here's what they tell them every day. Here's what they tell them every day.
The markets are telling us that things are not as terrible as they were feared to be just 6 to 9 months ago.
We are not in a bubble. This is 1995. This is not 1999.
And a lot of people have been saying that this rally is narrow, that it's only like the Magnificent Seven. We used to talk about FANG, but it really is a lot more.
Is there a bubble? And my answer is there is initial evidence, but we're not in the very stretched positions that we saw in 2007. Will that bubble get burst? Will it reverse dramatically? And my answer to that is no.
See, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to tell you the truth. Congress is not going to tell you the truth. Anybody on Wall Street, all these people that appear on all these financial shows on TV, to tell you the truth is not in their best interest. Not in their best interest. Because remember, everything to them is commissions, commissions, commissions. And the hedge funds, they're vicious. The hedge funds, are you kidding? They'll do anything to make money. They'll do anything. They'll sell their firstborn. If they can make a buck, they take them out of the hospital and they got them in their little crib going, Gucci, Gucci, goo, Gucci, look at my baby, Gucci, Gucci, goo. This is a nice crib. And the guy says, hey, I'll give you $10 for your crib. He'll dump the kid out on the ground. Pick up the $10. So, here's what you got to watch for. Between now and March 11th, are they going to start again cutting rates? And they could. They could start cutting rates. Imagine that. And the stock market will go right back up again. It'll go right back up. But what else will go up? The inflation. Because, see, they never tell you the truth about inflation. If anybody believes inflation is at 3%, you don't understand how the market works. 3%, you got to be nuts to think that. The reason they lie about inflation, because remember, we have more now, the baby boomers are now added to Social Security. And they don't want to pay the cost of living increases. So they're always going to lie about that. They're always going to lie about that. So remember, we started here with my members. We were in all the banks. And by the way, the banks are still doing well. Why? Because interest rates are going up. And that's another thing. Higher interest rates kill tech stocks. Look at the Magnificent Seven. We already rotated out of NVIDIA, and we went into we went to American Express. We rotated out of Apple. We went into, what else was it? We went to American Express. J.P. Morgan. We went to J.P. Morgan. And if you look at J.P. Morgan and then look at Apple, are you kidding me? We're doing terrific. We're doing terrific. And we also got out of Google and we went into GE. Now, if you look at Meta and Amazon, you go, oh, wow, look at Meta, wow, look at this, holy mackerel. They came out with earnings, they're at $401, and then it gapped up. Oh, my God, it gapped up to $475. I'm rich. No, they're not telling you that. When you gap up that much and you skip all that trading between 406 and let's say 475, that's telling you it's exhaustion you're looking at. It's exhaustion. They already used up all their ammo. And if it wasn't for NVIDIA gapping up on, I think it was February 23rd, if I'm right, or it was Thursday, one or the other, it was that gap up in NVIDIA that gapped Meta back up. It was going down. It was dropping from 488 down to 463. It was on its way down to fill that dark hole in the gap. And then NVIDIA went up. Then all of a sudden, Meta went up. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon, remember, it shot up from 168, I think it was, up to about 175. Now it's starting to come back. But before NVIDIA reported and had it gap up, and then we had a gap up with Amazon that followed. Look at this. Amazon was coming down from 175 down to about 166. It was NVIDIA's gap up that pushed Amazon up, pushed Meta up, but they're gap ups. Stay away from those until they consolidate. You got to have a big consolidation going sideways, and you got to have better than average volume for about 2 weeks. Then it breaks out, you're okay. Ton of people are going to get killed in these because anytime a stock went up, let's say when NVIDIA was at, let's just say for sake of argument, it was at 402, and all of a sudden that morning, boom, it went up to 480. Get me in before it goes up again, get me in. And they're going to get killed. All right, so the bottom line is this. The market, if they want to push the market up with a bad number, if we have a bad number in inflation, they will. They'll just use more stimulus. And if they want to, and then when they come March 11th and they decide not to back the banks and let the banks fail, the market will rally. They'll come in with more stimulus. See, that's what they've been doing for 15 years. People don't understand that. It's not earnings. So one day, this all stops. And remember, these rate hikes, that 5 1/4, we've never had tightening like this, that fast. And that hasn't even kicked in again. There's a lot more damage they can do. So they may just come in with a lot more stimulus, and there'll be just more inflation, and then you'll be having a piece of bread for $35.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to